Welcome to Leading Thoughts from LeadingAge, New Jersey. I'm Michelle Kent, President and CEO of LeadingAge, New Jersey. We represent and advocate on behalf of senior programs across the state. Today I'm delighted to have as my guest Dean Cntr. Dean is the director of the Newark Multifamily Program Center, which is part of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, lovingly known as HUD. Dean, welcome.
Hi.
We're delighted to have you.
Good to be here.
So as you know, Dean, there are lots of LeadingAge New Jersey members that get support, that is funding, through various HUD mechanisms. And I know those members are particularly interested in what you might have to say today. And I thought I would start, if I might, asking you about the organizational changes at HUD. I know they're pretty massive, and for the membership of LeadingAge, it is more than just some sort of bureaucratic moving of blocks on the table, but their reporting relationships and things like that might be changing or not. And so I really look to you to help us understand why it changed and what will happen for the housing managers.
Yeah, well, what's going on now is HUD is going through what they're calling a multifamily transformation. It's only affecting the multifamily housing side of HUD. HUD has other cylinders like fair housing and public housing, community planning and development. They're not affected by this change. So the multifamily transformation has started. It's been implemented in headquarters in the Southwest region. Okay, and when fully implemented, multifamily will have a superior business model that will improve customer service and a consistency of operations throughout all the offices. Okay, it's going to include 5 main offices with 7 satellite offices. So you'll have 5 regions, 7 satellites, multifamily. Development will be condensed to those 12 offices. So in the state of New Jersey, we will no longer have a multifamily development team. It will be part of the New York region.
Okay.
The New York office will house all of multifamily for New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, and there will also be a Boston office.
And what does that mean, really, for the membership?
Well, for the membership, because they probably don't deal with development that often,
right.
But it will mean for the lenders and the consultants that helped develop these 202s that they will now be dealing with the New York office. Okay. They will not be dealing with the New Jersey office. Now, the asset management side of
right.
multifamily,
right.
which is once we develop the asset, we oversee the asset,
right.
that will remain in the field offices, in the 50 field offices. But what they're doing is they are reducing the staff through attrition. So my office, we had 12 asset managers, we're down to 5.
Okay.
Which means the turnaround is a little slower right now, but the plan is to have those assets scanned, all the controlling documents, and put up in the cloud where anybody in the country can access them. And that asset could be serviced by New York, by Baltimore, by some other office. And that's the plan, to eliminate the overworked Newark staff currently. And we hope to have that together real soon, where we can actually start, sending our assets elsewhere to be serviced, because we just don't have the staff to do it.
So for project managers in New Jersey, would they still probably report to the same people?
There's a good chance for now, but there's a good chance some of these assets will be transferred to New York, and they will be answering to somebody in New York.
Okay. So, and what's your timeline?
This year. It'll be done by this year.
Okay.
I mean, we're currently at about 150 assets per servicer, okay, which is way too many.
Well, I'm sure HUD will be telling the projects
yes.
what and when.
We will inform everybody of who their new servicer is. But in the meantime, just bear with us, because some of the turnaround on certain servicing might take a little longer than usual. Although I think once it's implemented, you'll have a more consistent product where you will not some people deal with the Philadelphia office and they deal with the Newark office, and we do things differently.
Yeah.
Or you deal with New York and New Jersey and you do things differently. Now it'll be more consistent because everybody will be doing things the same way.
Good, that's a good goal.
Right,
So
that's the plan.
if there's anything LeadingAge can do to help get the word out or clarify things, don't hesitate to let us
Great.
know.
Thank
So I see you've been up to a lot, you HUD, the larger HUD entity, in terms of new initiatives that sound pretty exciting, at least from my limited view. And one is a very worthwhile goal. It's about saving energy consumption, building better challenge. Could you talk to us a little?
Yeah, sure. The Better Building Challenge is a leadership initiative that asks companies of all kinds to make a public commitment to reducing energy. Department of Energy is highlighting leaders that have committed to upgrading buildings and plants across their portfolio and providing their energy-saving data and the strategies they use to save their energy to others, so that the others can follow this business model. Okay, the goal is to make buildings and industrial plants 20% more energy efficient over 10 years. Okay,
Good percentage reduction.
right, and what they predict is that this energy efficient will help reduce the dependence on foreign oil and protect the environment and save billions of dollars that they can use for other initiatives, like investing in new technologies and hopefully creating new jobs. And this is not just a HUD initiative, it's an initiative that's put together for all businesses, not just multifamily properties.
I see.
Right?
I see.
It's for companies, plants, and it's part of Department of Energy.
Now, has this started?
This has been in effect for a while, yeah. HUD joined on with it, I believe, in, I want to say 2011.
Oh,
Okay. I know a lot of people are asking what the incentive is to do it. The incentive is to save energy. Okay, and there are some multifamily incentives like increased management fees, and there are some other small incentives out there for projects that participate. But the key is, there is a lot of work for the owner to do too. You need to create a business model. You need to present your model. You need to chart your data and share, your savings and your data and how you went about doing it with others. That's part of the best practice of it.
Right. So do you know if there are any in New Jersey currently started?
We have some national organizations that have properties in New Jersey that are involved.
All right.
And one of them does a lot of senior housing. It's National Church Organization.
Oh, surely.
They are involved in the program. I don't know if any of their New Jersey properties are one of their models. I don't believe so, but going forward, I'm sure they will have a lot of information to share about that, and you'll be able to, maybe even see one of their New Jersey properties take form as a property that's participated in the program.
It seems like the kind of project that over time will get better because once these models are established, others can replicate them.
Exactly,
right?
right. Yeah, and that's the whole idea is to share that practice. And I think along with the financial incentives for management fees, there's a return on private capital investment also incentive. So it's definitely something to look at, I think, for owners and managers, because it's a good program. It's good to save energy.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, and I just think that there are some incentives out there that may even make it worthwhile
Financially.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrific. Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
So something I know virtually nothing about, but I know my members do, is the rental assistance demo, and I wondered if you could update us on that.
Sure. The RAD program is a program that I've been involved with a lot. There's two components. There's RAD 1 and RAD 2.
Son of Rat.
Right. RAD 1 is the conversion of public housing properties to more of a project-based subsidy.
Okay.
In New Jersey, we have one property that has submitted an application and it's been approved and in the process. It's in Lakewood. Okay. And Congress did lift the cap from 65 units to 185,000 units. So some of the projects that were in the queue
Can now
move forward, right? They will get their funding and they'll get their their PBRA contracts, which is their project-based rental assistance contracts,
Right.
in place. Component 2 affects New Jersey.
Okay.
We have 60 projects that fall under Component 2 in New Jersey.
Wow.
And a lot of them are senior projects. And what's happening is they have rent supplement or RAP contracts that have reached their 40-year term and are expiring. And those contracts are now being offered to enter into RAD, and they would get a 15-year project-based voucher contract, which would be administered by a local housing authority or by the DCA. And what's happening is now that, projects that had 1 or 2 years left on their RAP or rent supplement contract now have a new 15-year contract that they can leverage for financing to do needed repairs on the buildings. And that's what we're seeing, some acquisitions, some refinances, a lot of buildings getting work needed to them that they needed. Some of these buildings had partial subsidy, and because of the preservation action, they're entitled to get vouchers for the rest of the residents.
Okay, that's great.
So it's really helping, right. So now you went from a building with 100 units that maybe only had 40 subsidies, now it has 100% subsidy.
Wow, that's great.
So it is a good program.
It is, yeah.
We only had one property opt out of the 30 that have converted. Going forward, we expect to get around the same percentage.
Yeah, it sounds like another very worthwhile undertaking.
Yes, definitely a good program to, if you have an expiring contract, to make sure you get your application in on time and meet the deadlines.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. So I know I would be very remiss, Dean, if I didn't ask you about something that my membership asks me about all the time, and that's housing services. And let me just take a minute to sort of paint the backstory for you. In New Jersey, as well as across the country, but very much so in New Jersey, state government is reprioritizing home and community-based services for Medicaid people as opposed to long-term care, that is nursing home stay. So they've gotten a big federal waiver to do this, and what it means, we think it's a very good thing, is that seniors will be able to stay in their homes much longer than heretofore, rather than go into a nursing home. And though I think we have wonderful nursing homes, I think no one really wants to go into a nursing home until they absolutely have to. So the idea is that you can wrap services around the senior citizen in their home much longer, and then preclude nursing home or prevent it for a long time. Very good thing. It also happens to save government a lot of money, another good thing. So it seems to me that the HUD properties for seniors, that house seniors, that are income-based, is a logical place for this kind of program to succeed, because most of those residents are, in fact, Medicaid recipients. And I know it's not coming out of HUD, it's really a Human Services and CMS kind of initiative, but and I know how difficult it is for one big state agency to talk to another, and so far on the federal level it's even more challenging. But I just wonder if it's something that's gone across the radar screen for HUD.
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. I haven't seen anything that addresses it, but we do have our service coordinator program, grant program, which we do in the state of New Jersey. We have about 40 projects, senior projects, that have a grant. We have about another 100 plus that have service coordinator program that we allow them to fund through their budget, which is an allowable expense. And I think the key is for these projects that have the service coordinators to really make sure that service coordinators are trained properly and that can provide the services that the residents need by reaching out to the community and finding the services in the community and partnering with community agencies that offer services. I think
that's key.
I mean, that's the key really to the whole program. I mean, and also under the Medicare program, they allow home services. they allow some money for home services. So they can get additional services brought into the house instead of having to go early into a nursing home.
Right.
Maybe they can get some in-home care.
Exactly.
And again, that's where the service coordinator comes in and helps that senior coordinate this, because they don't know maybe that they can get these in-home services.
Right.
And they don't know the ins and outs of the programs and all the benefits that are out there. And that's why it's so important that your service coordinator is properly trained and knows what they can do and where they can find the services to help these aging residents.
Well, I think you'll see more and more of this as our population ages in the state, and hopefully HUD will be behind expansion of this kind of project. We think it's very, very valuable.
And if they don't have a service coordinator, they should really look into having a service coordinator and put in the program. It is an allowable expense in your budget.
Okay, good to know. So
And
if they don't know, they can...
Right, yeah. I mean, we have a service coordinator special in the Newark office, which is Barbara Dickerson. She handles the program, and she'd gladly answer any questions.
Great, that's a great tip. Thank you.
You can reach out to her, you can reach out to me, and I'll direct you in the appropriate direction to contact her. So.
Well, is there anything else, Dean, you'd like to talk to us
I
about?
think one of there's a couple of things. One of the big initiatives of HUD is to help end homelessness, okay, and to house veterans. And these are two things that I feel strongly about and would like to see more managers and owners proactive in coming to us and asking for a preference. We're allowing a homelessness preference. So in order, you would need to implement that into your tenant selection plan.
I see.
And you would need to request approval from us for that, but we want you to come in. We're asking you to put a preference in there for homeless people and for veterans that are homeless. Give them a chance. And we realize that sometimes housing these people can be difficult, and it is a challenge, but at the same time they deserve a chance. And without a preference, they have to go to the bottom of the waiting list. And as we know, many of our senior buildings, the waiting lists are closed, or they have a 4-year wait.
I know.
And 4 years may be too long for someone who's homeless. So,
not to mention too long for some really seniors. So clearly, anything that can expand the entire universe of service would be helpful. But those are very two vulnerable populations.
Yes, and we're working with the mayors in New Jersey, trying to get them to talk to their constituents and in their communities, and hopefully we'll see some activity as far as the people and the managers and owners asking for preferences on their properties.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's
that was my...
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff, to use a technical term, that keeps you and your people very busy, I'm sure.
We're very busy, and but we're always looking to provide service to any of your partners and any of your members.
Thank you, Dean. And anything we can do to help that along, to help coordinate it, this association certainly stands behind assisting you and your people on that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
So, again, I'm Michelle Kent, President and CEO of LeadingAge New Jersey. We appreciate you watching this webcast. Anytime you'd like to contact us with suggestions for new topics or for improvements, please don't hesitate to do that. You can learn more about us by looking at our website, www.leadingagenj.org. Or how about following us on Twitter, @LeadingAgeNJ. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a good day.